129 and a dime.
Feeling fine.
A real tide.
I believe that you had once said that you're divine and you drop lines.
A divine with lines. Intertwine.
Intertwine, yep. Intertwine is definitely always in there. A lot of rappers are in intertwine.
Never resign. I'll stay confined until I lose what's mine.
Oof.
You're
like a diamond in a mine. I won't lose what's mine.
Put the rock in it. Put the diamond in his cut. Put the diamond in the cut? Put the diamond in the cut?
Oh, diamond in the cut. Yo, we do need to do a full conspiracy episode, man. Yeah, we do, man, because I've been dipping and diving a little bit more, and I'm not saying we're going to get into it today, but I'm going to say we got to do a little bit of research one week and come back with a conspiracy episode. And we got to try it out, man, because it's not the I always go with the, I'm not saying I believe it. All I'm saying is, hey, this is what people are saying, because I don't know what to believe in any situation anymore unless it happens in front of my own eyes, you know?
Let's not rule out anything. Let's everybody weigh in on the scales of justice and truth. I'm with that.
Speaking of Ja Rule went, it's murder. And then sold like 4 million albums. Like, what the fuck? I'm sure he sold more than 4 million, but I don't know why he popped into my head on the way home from work today. And I was like, that's all that he was fucking doing. But it worked for him, so.
That's because it's murder. It's Ja Rule, baby. And we murdering mugs right now. We on it popping. We on it popping. Do you understand what's going on? This is episode
129.
129 watermelon over here. High versus pumpkin. Over there. There it is. And,
1299 my killer.
This is out here, and this is one of the first times y'all probably seen pastry came with the Lenny Kravitz on. It's that COVID look right now. Everything is rough and crazy, and this is how we out here maintaining, sustaining, never complaining. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
I love it, man. 129. It's been another crazy week. Right off top, let's go like this. To further muddy the waters of nobody knows what the fuck is going on, my grandmother, 80 years old, it's not proper to say a woman's name. I'm not just covering because I don't know her real age, but what I'm saying is she beat it. What the fuck? She beat it. Covey came up and said, so Swissen, old power.
Let's go. The Miko G's cut.
Shout out to her, but then you have to ask, what the fuck do they know about this shit? I don't think they know anything. Because if grandma did not get run over by the reindeer, you must have quit.
You must have quit. If the corona don't fit, you must have quit. Listen.
No.
I'm with it. And then you look at that, and then I just found out this morning because my ears obviously weren't to the ground loud enough to hear the fucking buffalo. But Fred the Godson died, man, from that shit.
Yeah. Because everything goes so quick nowadays in terms of news. And yeah, man, I forgot about. And the fucked up thing is, man, they said he was doing better and then took a turn for the worse out of the blue.
He had pre-existing shit too. I think he had complications pre-existing, like asthma kind of problem or breathing problems. Still, man, I mean, how old was he? 29 maybe?
I don't know, but I know he wasn't too old. I looked him up, but yeah, I know he wasn't too old. But man, that's fucking really.
Repeat to the Godson. So there you go. I mean, you got somebody in the 80s that kicked it in the ass, and you got somebody in fucking 20s that just had its way with it. We don't know what this shit is, man. That's what's scary about it. That's what I think because when they do research with these fucking things, man, even with the common flu, there's researching for like a fucking year or two, you know what I mean, before they even come out with a suitable FDA approved medicine or some shit, you know what I mean, or CDC approved.
Fred the Godson, it turns out he was 35.
35. Okay, a little older than I thought. Still, shit, 35, nigga.
But still, 35. I'm 37, so that scares the shit out of me,
Right there. Yeah. I'm on the heels of the other one, 5 up, but shit, that's right there, nigga. 35.
But that's what I'm talking about, where, like, I don't think nobody knows shit anymore. Because remember, it was, everything's changing so much, and I think they're just afraid to be like, guys, we don't know. Stay safe. Let us come back, and we'll tell you once we know more. Like, Give us some of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and somebody told me they drove by on Longworth in New Haven here, right off of 95. They got a bunch of tents set up for testing. My boy was telling me this morning, he goes, man, I've been driving by that during the day because I'm not over there during the day. He said there's a fucking mob scene. People online to get tested because they're just giving out the testing. I don't even think you don't need a doctor's approval. You just go down there.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know if the people in line are getting their temp checked and going, oh, you don't have a high temp, we can't test you. I don't know if that's the case, but there's people in line though.
Because even what's weird with how you're talking about the taking the temperature, and when I was at ShopRite, I saw a lady taking the temperature of the girl that was about to start work. You know, she did like, boop, okay, you're good. You can start working now. What happened to the asymptomatic shit? You know what I'm saying? Of like, you pull, oh no, you don't have a fever? Now you should be good. But like, but wait, what about?
Supposedly what I hear is, from what I heard, people that even are asymptomatic, they still run hot. Like a low grade fever.
Okay.
Like that, it's like 100 point something. So you could just be running hot at 100 point something and be fine. You know what I mean? Like you could be at 100 point something and not be like, oh my God, I got a fever. You know what I mean? So it's like a low grade. If they hit you and you got that low grade, and then you might not even have it, but they're going to deny you access because you're running. You can't come in here because you possibly got it. That's how they're kind of treated from what I was told. You know,
shit is fucking crazy.
That's like it's going to turn into it's because I'm black. No, it's because I got COVID.
Well, one of those stories did come out. 30-year-old black woman in Brooklyn passed away, and I was reading about the story today. She had gone to try to get tested twice, and they turned her away. And then she, however, got tested, found out that she had it, and ended up passing away. Which that's what we were talking earlier about. Like, dude, I'm telling you, these lawsuits are going to be nuts because that's what. But then also,
how long was she trying to go back there? Like, she went twice in a week?
I don't know. It was just, in the article it said she had been there twice previously. It didn't give the down to the
scary part. It's like, they say 14 days, but it's like, I mean, how long does it really last? You know what I mean?
For some, I mean, for the people that I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what the qualifications are to where if you're around it, it fucks you up real bad. But it seems there's a certain amount of people where it seeks and destroys super quick, where it's just like, it's game over immediately.
Right. So is it just those people, or do they have like a fucking stronger dose of the fucking strand of fucking COVID, or heavy exposure? I think that too. Like people that might be you might be asymptomatic, you got it. But now if you don't quarantine, you go out there, you're getting more dosages of it. I don't know. Maybe it's a fucking you keep getting more, and it's like, all right, I'm overexposed now. It's gonna put me down now because I wasn't practicing social distancing. Like he probably wasn't Fred the Godson. Who knows? I don't know the man like that to be saying that, but you don't know. You know what I mean? Because he could have been. We don't know his theory behind it. Man, it's bullshit. He could have been one of those. This shit ain't nothing. It's bullshit. You know what I mean? Yada yada yada.
That's something that I heard, but of course, who the hell knows if it's true? They said there was evidence to like the more that you're around it, the worse case that you can catch. You know what I mean? But then it seems different with all people. So who knows? It could have been because when Slim Thug got it and he recovered, he said he didn't know where he got it from. So that's one of those like.
How's Face? Face he didn't die. Scarface, right?
I haven't heard. Yeah, haven't heard anything. So hopefully no news is good news.
Yeah.
Speaking of people dying, they're talking about the Kim Jong-un from North Korea. They're saying they don't know if he's dead or not. And that goes back to another one of those, how many fucking world leaders got hit with this? And even they're talking about it was a botched heart surgery, but
it's hard to believe anything, man.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all scared to give some of that to some of these depths. I don't know. Bill Withers, they said was they had his results and said it was just some other kind of heart complications he had. But
that's the thing too, where he's only 35, Kim Jong-un, and they say, if he passes away,
he's 35. Huh?
If he passes away, his sister steps up, which is wild.
Wow, you're talking about a male-dominant country where the woman has no say-so. That should be interesting.
Yeah, Just his sister steps up and then gets to run shop. So it'll
be great. She's gonna give like, what if she just gets in there and is like, yes, I'm giving all kinds of women rights out this motherfucker. her whole cabinet is gonna be nothing but ladies.
I know that's the thing. Like, could you imagine if she comes in and is just like, we're gonna move some furniture around here, you know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna do something different.
Immediately redecorating. Yeah, guess what? The new office here is fucking gonna be pink and black. How about that?
Yep. Just think about it. Like, I have brothers, you have brothers. You're not necessarily gonna do the same thing that your brother is. So who knows? I mean, that's a brother-sister relationship. She might be someone different, or she might, be straight and narrow, follow the code, and they still got pretend grocery stores and all that other shit.
Yeah, nah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Lil Kim. Does Rodman know about this?
He did have a quote out there, and I'll paraphrase, but it was something of like, I hope it's a rumor, because, yeah, Rodman's got some money out in North Korea before.
That's his
he got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Rodman saved us from a nuke, nigga.
Exactly. But for real, man, because things are so much deeper than we see. Can you imagine Rodman at the fucking foul line of like, all right, listen, if I make this, you just promise me you're not gonna nuke him, okay? You know what I'm saying? On some like,
he's like, we'll play a game of horse. If you beat me, Rodman, your country's all right?
Little do we know that Rodman's over there saving the fucking country and just saving everybody with
one horse game at a time.
And that's and that's why Rodman's an alcoholic, because the struggle and the fucking stress that he has going on in his mind of like, these motherfuckers don't know I be saving the planet over and over again.
Yeah, that's the whole premise to a great movie. I would pay to see that movie. Rodman saves the world. You know what I mean? It's just like he's playing horse games so the fucking don't press nuke buttons. He's playing one-on-one with these fucking Korean outstanding athletes. Behind the scenes, it's like Rodman has to beat all these guys at the ripe age of 52 to fucking save the world.
To save the fucking world.
That's why his voice is all fucked up when he talks, man. It's like, oh, that's why, nigga. He's horse. Nigga, he's out there playing horse.
He's out there playing horse. Putting in work. So, The Last Dance. You got into it this week. I also got more into it. I finished off the episodes, man. I love it. Like it's bringing me. How you were saying that you were looking up videos of when you had graduated. This takes me back to, man. I'm not saying I know exactly, but I know that feeling. I remember that time in my life of where I was, and I love watching that shit. That shit's amazing. I'm sure it's like our parents. Are they, when they hear bands that were playing when they were youngsters?
Right. And it's funny because I seen one where he had that scene where he had with his boys or his sons were running around, because there wasn't a lot of that. You didn't see a lot of footage of Mike's kids around him a lot. I don't know. I feel like not like Steph Curry and LeBron, they take their kids on the podium for post game. Mike had never had his kids at a post game that I remember seeing. You know what I mean? That's not kind of the flow. You keep the kids there. Daddy's doing working. I'm doing business.
Yeah, I feel Mike was definitely more serious about it, and he would. Right. I don't think he would go for that.
Nah, and they said what it was too. They said Mike, he knew he had the power over the media. This was Skip Bayless was saying, Skip. Yeah. Skip was saying, he was saying that because he was covering Chicago back then. So he's a big Mike fan. So he would make after a game, the media would wait for an hour to 2 hours while Mike showered and get dressed, because he always made sure he was presenting himself a certain way. So they had to wait for him to get dressed and take his long ass shower and get just right, lotion up and shit, and get his pants tailored up and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd come out. But he knew they was gonna wait. What are you gonna do? You gotta wait for Mike.
Yeah, you're not gonna leave.
He's the man. You know what I mean? But nah, that documentary is dope, man. I like the behind the scenes shit where like Mike is barking at the fucking equipment guy. Shit you don't see. He's like, we'll get it fucking done then. I'm like, oh shit, this thing. Mike seems like a motherfucker, huh?
And you know what too? Not to go off on a tangent, but I love that there's the uncensored version, because I want to hear the story told how these gentlemen talk. And that's how they talk. They talk, oh man, this motherfucker, man, blah, 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 blah. And that's how they talk. And that's what I want to hear. Like when Isaiah Thomas comes up with his reason for walking off the court and not shaking their hands, and Michael Jordan just goes, that's bullshit. I want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear their real feelings. So I love that they're providing that, because think about, no ESPN would ever provide, and this is the uncensored version. I love that we're moving towards that. You know what I mean?
I gotta find the uncensored version because I've only watched it on the app. Well, actually, did they show? I feel like I heard them say "fuck" on the app.
There was the option, because I didn't go on the app. I went on the website, and it had the option of like censored, uncensored, and
on the website. Oh, I'm gonna stream. Yeah. I'm gonna stream it that next time. Okay.
It was dope.
I like that whole thing. Just the behind the scenes. And I was laughing when I was talking about with his two sons, and when they were on the court and they were playing around, and I'm like, yo, I totally remember that, and why it sunk in so much. It took me more in place. Like, bro, that was my fucking senior year. It all came back to me. That was my senior year, and I remember talking shit because I was a Knicks fan. One of my best friends, my man Mike, he was a big Bulls fan. I remember when Mike retired, I stole it in his face like, yeah, we winning one now. This is all in high school. Mike came back, and then he went on the fucking – before I was like, I guarantee you he's not going to win another one. I think I bet him like $100 that I never paid him.
Right.
But I bet him $100 before the season even started. You're not going to win it. You're not going all the way and win it this year. Trust me. And I think I was talking shit about they think I'm firing your coach. All the shit's going on. It's not happening. And then I remember the fucking sneakers – that's what brought it all. That's what brought it home was the sneakers his kids got on, because I'm like, holy shit! I remember the crave about those when they came. Those were the 13s, and they came out that year. I remember my other close friend, my man Shice, would fucking he went like saved up money, went tooth and nail, waited in fucking line to get a pair of the blue ones, the blue, black, and white or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it just brought it back to that year, and I remember the vibe and everything, man. It was crazy, man. I was like, holy shit! I talked so much shit that year. And the fucking Bulls were doing that while I was talking shit.
Hell yeah! No, I'm telling you, I like seeing the cars. The outfits that Michael Jordan wears he looks dapper and he looks proper right up until the hat. Then he tosses on a goofy ass hat, and you have to. And you have to wonder.
He's a big beret guy. He's a big beret guy.
You have to wonder because I'm not sure where the timeline is, but remember when Chris Rock had the song "No Sex in the Champagne Room"?
Yep.
And that's all I could think about, because in that song he says, "Take off that silly ass hat," and that's all I could think of about Michael Jordan. Where I'm like, dude, what is happening up there?
Well, Mike was like the king of baggy. You gotta remember his whole style was loose. He brought loose fitting shorts to the NBA. Between him and the Fab Five, because the Fab Five came along and they pimped it out their own way too. But they did it to the collegiate level, where they kind of brought the lower shorts and the black sneakers and the black, because they weren't supposed to wear everything was supposed to be white. You know what I mean? Like on the feet. So
why's it gotta be white?
We got to be white. White is right. Oh shit! I'm knocking my camera around. Hold on, get my shit together.
Dave, how much is that?
But Mike brought that loose fitting shit. Like, he came in with the tight shorts, and as he went along, he grew him being the man. Like, all right, well, I want my shit tailored, I want my shit brought down. Yep. I want to be loose side, because he's always a loose guy. He always wears like baggy shirts with the floating pants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That
was just his style, man.
No, Jordan was about it, man. He was definitely fresh.
Right. And what it was crazy to see, because you always hear the talks, but then to actually see that behind the scenes, and Scotty, you know what I mean? How really Scotty was just like, I almost felt bad for Scotty in a way, because he's like that over humble country dude that kind of got took advantage of. You know what I mean? Yeah. He got that kind of vibe to him. He's a very respectful dude. He's laid back. So he don't really, probably non-confrontational. You know what I mean? So they kind of took advantage of him in a way. You know what I mean? It's like, he was fucking 1 of 12. That was insane. He said, y'all had 12 siblings. Holy shit, bro. No wonder why he was fucking broke.
That and the stories of he had 12 siblings, and there were 2 people in the house with fucking wheelchairs. Like, imagine that. Not just one, there's 2. Jesus Christ.
He wasn't taking anything for the low just to feed his family. Yeah. I ain't trying to bullshit and negotiate. I ain't got time for that. Just give me money. But it's like, Scotty, you worth more than. And then we started realizing, like, man, I'm worth more than this shit. They started throwing numbers. What was it? He was the 160th highest paid in the league and like 3rd best player. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing right now? This nigga's
got him. I know Scotty was getting fucking.
That made me feel bad. I felt real bad for Scotty, man. I was like, damn, Scotty. It had me a different light on him, man. Like, damn, man, he took shit on the chin like a boss, man. He got his rings, man, but it's like he paid for that shit, man.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I remember Scottie Pippen being out for a while because of injury, but I didn't remember that whole storyline about the fucking him saying he was never going to play for them again. I forgot about all that.
I forgot, yeah, the holdout and the shit talking.
Yeah, because I remember him getting injured. I remember them going for a while without Scottie Pippen, but yeah, I completely forgot that it was because, yeah, part of it was because he was like, fuck, yo. But also,
right.
I get both sides, like to where they should have come to the table and been like, because of who you are and what you have done, thank you so much. Here, we will bless you with something. But then on the other note, too, they were all fucked up because it was still so crazy to learn that whole shit crumbled because of fucking short, fat Jerry Krause. That was why, because he didn't want fucking Phil to coach anymore. And, I mean, maybe he gives a reason eventually, but he's still giving no fucking reason why he wanted him to be out. Besides, Scottie Pippen used to pick on him, whatever.
Right, and I love hearing the owner when he goes, at the time we felt like, okay, besides Michael, everybody else is reaching their peak. You know, how much more they're getting older, we got to start breaking them up. It's like, who the fuck says that after a three-peat?
Exactly. like,
I'm trying to figure that out. Like, we have a three-peat. Like, oh, we're getting old. We got to watch it. We got to hang it up. Nigga, you just won 3 in a row. How about you don't win the 4th one, and then
you start thinking about it.
Right, and then you're like, okay, this is the last year, Phil. If you have a disappointing year the following year, you got to get that chance of that. You know what I mean? The same shit happened with the coach in the Cowboys in the 90s, Jimmy Johnson. He went back-to-back, and then they fired the guy. How the fuck do you go back-to-back winning Super Bowls and probably could have got a 3rd one, and you fired the dude? You know, people just it's that Jerry Krause thing, man. It's just a power thing, man. And it's just that feeling. He probably was that picked on kid his whole fucking life. You know what I mean? Because he had the sloth eye, where his eye was like, kind of, if you notice, like he had the Goonies, you know what I mean, down slant, you know, so he probably got killed on that growing up, you know what I mean? So that fight for a sense of control and power, now when you get it, man, he wants all the accolades. He wants this and that, instead of like owners just be like, I don't need a tap on the back. I know what I did. I brought Phil here. I know what I did. I got Scotty. You know what I mean? Like, just take that shit and run with it. You know, you don't need it, you know, but.
No, I feel you. I definitely think it was, but it was just crazy to me where I'm like, how did they let that dude have that much power? Like, to do that.
That's the thing. And that's the thing that, like, when I think Shannon Sharp was saying, he goes, but he's talking to the owner, or Stephen A was saying, he goes, yeah, but you're putting it all on Jerry. Now, he's dead now, so he can't really come out and say anything. You're putting it all on him. You own the fucking team. You the executive decision. It don't go by you. It's like, Jerry, you want to get rid of Phil? It's not happening. that's what
why,
the owner
and that's for me too. Then I'm thinking, like, what did Jerry Krause have on the owner? Because for them to say, all right, Phil Jackson, you're not coaching next year, and then Michael Jordan says, Michael Jordan then goes, well, if Phil's not coaching, then I'm not coming back. And their prime reason was because, we just want Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan says he's leaving if you're going to do what you're going to do. So why wouldn't you change? Because you guys still wanted to keep Michael Jordan. But
and if you think about it, it's not even smart from a fucking business aspect. Like, you know how much fucking you know how much money and he's bringing into the bowl. You know what I mean? People don't watch the Bulls to watch for anybody else but Mike at that time. You know what I mean? Like, you always fucking watching Chicago Bulls for the Ron Harper. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean?
John like, Paxson.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, those guys are well and good, but it's like, business sense, you're being stupid. All the, the walk-through money or investment shit, or, Chicago, all the media, everything is going to be all around you. As soon as Mike leaves, he's taking that with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But,
it was a weird thing of, I don't know if they didn't understand that, and once again, we've only gotten to part 4 out of 8 or 10, so maybe we'll find out more later, but it was just, it seems like such a bad decision, and such a decision that I get 2020 hindsight, but I feel like while you were in that position, you're like, yo, we're going to lose Michael Jordan. Like,
right. But that was his ego, man. Just like, and it's funny because I look at that, I feel like it summed up a lot by one fucking look, bro. When they showed Mike getting on the bus, and they panned at his face as Mike walked by him. He had that kind of like nasty, like disgusted look as like cutting his eyes at him. Like one of those moments that I caught on camera that he probably wished never did, because his face just shot a strong dislike for Mike as he walked by him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because Mike was getting all the pictures, snap, 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 like Michael Jackson. You know, when they were saying like the level of Mike's fame, man, when they compare it to fucking Muhammad, like athlete-wise, Muhammad Ali and Babe Ruth, they said Mike's don't like those three have that kind of where they went anywhere and it was that kind of like attraction and pull. Like you see that shit in France, like they're going crazy in France.
And to where, everybody knows you, no matter if it's a grandmother or a fucking little kid. It's everybody knows you.
I like the guy who was miking him up and then tried to get the autograph.
Oh yeah. He got shot down. But that's the thing too. Then you got to think about, like, imagine being so famous that you've signed so many autographs that you're just like, no, I don't want to go. That's all you have to do.
He found his space. He's like, I'm in my space right now of just, all right, I'm working, I'm doing this. Okay, cool. There's a fan zone and then there's a work zone. Like you know, for that, I think they have to try to separate that. You know, so then it's like when I'm in my work zone and my flow, chill time. Hey Mike, can you sign this for me? And he probably just had a moment like, 10 years down the road from that, or doing shit like that. You can imagine, like, even LeBron, a Mr. Happy, I'm pretty sure is like, all right, guys, like, give me fucking space. Get away from.
Well, did you see the little clip where they interviewed Common for like 5 seconds and he told his story about being a ball boy?
That was
like, you got this one, you sign it. Like, Michael Jordan's right there, and he's like, you sign it instead. Just write my name. Fuck it.
He said he signed it and sold it to the kid, but he spelled Michael wrong, so the kid came back. He had to get his money. That was funny shit. But Common was a ball boy, huh? Is there footage of that? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Who knows? I mean, there might be, but you got to figure. Common's been a long. Maybe now it'll probably pop up on World Star somewhere.
Somebody found it. Somebody dug in the footage of old games and like, I'm gonna find him. There he is. It's fucking Common. Like water for chocolate out there getting balls.
Yo, and it's nice them going through the games and going through some of the iconic shots and how Jordan started to learn that triangle offense, and learning it wasn't the problem, but accepting it was. But then when he started to accept it and it was, oh shit, I go over here, they follow like a beehive and I toss it and Paxton's got the three and Paxton's got the, it was cool to see him, like, you can see during his interviews, his thoughts progress.
He had to be humbled, man. And that's the thing too, is like, without that Phil kind of thing, Mike, because the coach before him, that was great with Doug Collins, how they were saying Doug Collins was, he's just, hey, get out the way, get the fuck out the, when he said that in that interview, he said, what was the play? He goes, give it to Michael and everybody get the fuck out the way. Yep. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a joke, but that was real shit. That's what he did. Give it to Mike, let him do his thing. Like, that's Carmelo Anthony ball. That's what they used to do with Melo. Give it to Melo, ISO. Let him be out there on the island. He gonna shake and bake and score buckets,
It's what's the dude on the Rockets? I've complained about him a million times. The dude with the beard on the Rockets. Harden. James Harden. Same shit. Man, you can score 45 points a game, but you lost, Right.
Well, Witcher calls like that too. Westbrook.
Yep.
Now they're back together again, but it's Westbrook is just that. Kobe was like that too. You know what I mean? It's just that they're just the alpha dominant. On the court, they just want to score. They want the ball. They want to score. They want to be the man. You know what I mean? It's just an egotistical ball playing thing. And that's one thing I do give LeBron, man. Like, a lot of shit's talk about LeBron, but he is kind of an ultimate player. You know what I mean? Like, he distributes. He takes it to the rack. You know what I mean? He does a little bit of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The
I think he won 1 year, Defensive Player of the Year, but at least he did it once.
The only thing where because now I've lived through both, and LeBron's still playing, but the only reason I give it to Jordan more is because I like how Jordan put himself out there on the line where Jordan went and he's like, you know what? I'm going into the slam dunk competition. Wins that. Then also Jordan, the difference between LeBron and Jordan, 2 seconds left, Jordan wants that fucking ball. I don't think LeBron wants that ball with 2 seconds left.
Right, and that's true. And that's the big thing about LeBron. He's like, he shies away from the big moments. Mike fucking drools for it. You know what I mean? Mike was like, look, I'm mad if I don't get that ball. I need that ball. That goes to me because he's just confident like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which you can't really knock him because he backs it up. You know what I mean? Not like a LeVar Ball, who we have yet to see any footage of his ball skills. You know what I mean? They're like, LeVar, how come we don't see the footage? Where's it out there? Oh, it's out there. You know what I mean, Joe? You got to look. Where is it, LeVar? Where's the footage of you being this nasty player that we want to see how good you were to know, like, oh, if we seen the skill set, like, okay, he could have gave it to Mike, but we ain't seen nothing. I don't know. You tell me, LeVar.
It is crazy that his kids are all real good, but
the next one coming up, I think LaMelo. It's LaMelo and LaJello. I think.
Yo, if you were writing a lazy script, you would not even use those fucking names. Never mind in real life.
I like that name, Carmelo, but we're going to do LaMelo. Because he doesn't love that shit. That's his move. He likes to say it. He comes into the camera, say it, and he snaps back. You know, that's the LeVar move. And that's how we're going to do it.
Fade away.
Pan, his own fucking fadeaway pan from the camera. Like, LeVar. But it's funny because
he's a clown, but it works. He's a clown, but it fucking works somehow.
Right. It's showmanship, you know what I mean? He knows it draws attention. It's the loudmouth. It's the Don King, you know? People hated Don King, but they always were attracted to hearing him because he had to look in the
he's out
there. Yeah, you know what I mean? Cinematic even. That nigga did the do. But nah, man, I'm really enjoying it, man. And they started, like you said, dabbing, like we talked before, dabbing into the Rodman, man, which was a interesting one because, you know, Rodman, as we all knew back then, was a wild boy. And to kind of see, like, how did that – and that was always the thing. It's like, knowing Mike how he is, he's more of a straight-laced kind of guy, you know what I mean, as far as he don't really get involved with too much shit. He doesn't party like that. You didn't really see that back then. Yep. Scotty was like the church, the preacher's son kind of vibe to him, you know what I mean? And then it's like Rodman, the wild boy. How the fuck do they keep him under wraps? How do they keep him sustained within that? And we watched that to see how they they said you got to let him loose, and then he comes back.
Let him go for 48 hours. That was it. Let him go for 48 hours.
That was great. He said, "I need a vacation." But what do you mean? You tell Michael.
I know. Isn't that funny too? That that's what I'm saying. Where it makes no sense about Jerry Krause because they bring Michael Jordan in to help make the decision on if they can give Dennis Rodman 2 days off, but they're not. But he can't, keep the coach around. Come on.
Right. That was so much personal shit that I think Phil just not going to tap into.
Yeah. That's true, and especially like you said, because the dude has passed away. Maybe they're not going to, pile on.
He's like, I ain't going to put out some stuff he can't defend himself over, so we're going to let that route.
But it was wild to see Michael Jordan had to fucking be like, yes, son, you can go out and play for a little while. Fucking be back at 9.
He said, let me tell you, Phil, you let that guy go. He ain't coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to go get him. He said, we had to go. He said, it was way past 48 hours. He said, we had to go get his ass, pull him out of a bed where I ain't going to say what was in the bed. And that's when Carmen Electra was like, I was hiding in the closet, so she wasn't in the bed. She's in the fucking closet.
And every single woman needs to try to find out whatever the fuck she's doing in terms of keeping herself correct because, oh my God, she looks amazing.
Carmen still got it, man. When we're like that, it's like, I don't know if she's Botoxing, but they might do a good job if that's the case.
I was going to say, whatever she's doing, it's working. So, all the women out there that look like fucking burnt plastic should fucking try to find what she's doing before you get concrete put in your ass and then die.
Right.
Because you went to fucking Honduras to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in a back alley with a guy holding the goat, like, hold that for me. I'm gonna puncture this lady's ass, put some Fix-A-Flat in it.
Put some Fix-A-Flat in it. Oh my
You must
God.
run around the block for three blocks you got to hit before that shit fills up.
Rotate slowly to get it, to touch every corridor.
Got a little person in the fucking punching it, fucking kneading it.
Right? Make
Gotta
sure
give it that
touch all
realistic
sides.
look.
Touch all sides.
You got to get real butt dimples in there to make it look official. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. But now I was Rodman though, man. What was great about him with that whole he was wild as fuck. But then when he came back, he's like, yo, he's just straight business, man.
Yep.
Like that when they had that drill he was talking about, that was funny.
The running, yeah.
Right. They said, well, Rodman, he said, look, let's just slow down because we don't all want to do this shit because he fucked up. And the guy who's in the lead, you have to keep pace with, and it ended up being fucking Rodman. He's showing them like, nah, I'm here, I'm back, I'm working, I'm not taking time off type shit.
Yeah, even back in the day
him,
when they're interviewing him, a lot of it he's being interviewed like after he does a set, and he's like, yeah, man, this shit is tough, but we got to do it. He's lifting weights in a lot of his interviews. They got him like in the weight room, and that's when they're talking to him. So he was putting in work. You could tell.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy, man, with all this is what's really trying to save face. He's been on a lot of the sports shows, interviews, like Undisputed and all this shit in the morning. He's been, in the last couple of days, he's been all over it, trying to put his face. Isaiah Thomas is trying to save face, man.
Michael Jordan has hated him forever.
He's not liking how he's depicted, so he's all over the place talking about shit. He's not really trying to come out there and be spiteful, but he's out there trying to save his name up with shit. He's trying to give his version of things. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's interesting to hear some of his shit. If you ever get a chance to check out some of his interviews that he's got on, on some of the sports channels this past week. I forgot. I want to say who was he on? Stephen A. He was with Stephen A. I think First Take or something like that.
Okay.
But it was a lot with the guy Max Kellerman, who used to be the rapper.
Yeah.
Where he Isaiah Thomas got a little snippy with Max about something, and it was like Isaiah Thomas he was trying to say that about the walk-off. He was trying to say Bill Lambert would say, hey, listen, guys, we about to walk off. I think that was in the Jordan doc? That was in the Jordan doc. I think when he had said that.
A couple people gave explanations. Yeah.
Right, but they came back at him because they were like, hey, Isaiah, you said in the Jordan doc that it was Bill Lambert's thing. A lot of people are groaning and saying things like, but Isaiah, you was the captain of that team. You know what I mean? That's like, but then he was trying to say, listen, we ran as a unit. We were military almost. Everybody was a soldier in their own sense and a captain in their own sense. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And Bill Lambert was a co-captain. So he made the suggestion. I'm like, yeah, so you ain't deny it, so you went with it.
Yeah.
Then he was going to say he only did it because of that was done, right? He said Larry Bird and them did it to them. But Mike is saying like, yo, man, y'all killed us fucking 3 years in a row, and I showed y'all love every fucking time.
Yep.
And you can't show that same respect, and we knocked y'all off finally? Like, come on, man. That was a punk-ass move. Like Horace Grant said, what do you call them? Bitches.
Bitch, yeah. But that's the thing, too, where, I don't know why Isaiah wasn't just like, yo, they beat our ass, we were pissed, we left. You know what I'm saying? Like, just own it, because that's why now everybody keeps talking about it, because he doesn't own just like, yeah, man, they beat our ass, and we were really mad about it, and we fucking left. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to say, instead of like, well, you got to understand the reason that we did it is because, like, no, it's just, I get it, man. Sometimes it sucks to lose. Right.
And it was crazy, because there was some conversation with Stephen A. and Isaiah, and he was talking about the dream team. Like, Isaiah Thomas was talking about that, like, that fucked him up. He was like, yo, that hurt. He still heard about that shit, not making that. He goes, but what the inclusion was supposed to be was like, you be a champion and you get so many ratings. And like, he's a pro at that time. He said, well, what you call was in it. He was Magic was in there, 4-time champ or whatever. This one was in the throne. He said, Mike only had one. I said, I had two. Mike only had one. I thought I was a shoo-in. Why didn't I get that? You know what I mean?
I remember hearing that rumor forever that Mike kept him out of it.
And that's what he was saying was, to him, it was always been a rumor. He said, I never heard Mike come out and directly tell me, or I never came straight from like Mike is the one that did it. He said, I'm only hearing what y'all hearing about the speculation of that it was. And that's what Stephen A. said. I know, he said, I've been told by certain people that were in that group or whatever that it was around the board kind of voted against you, and it wasn't just like a Mike thing. You know what I'm saying? And Isaiah was kind of going at him. He was like, "Well, if you can't," he said, "Well, what's their names?" He said, "I'm not gonna." He said, "All right, well."
Isaiah's not hood with it. Well, who said what? You tell me.
What's their name? Because Isaiah was like, "Well, no, check it out. When I joined like the league coalition thing or whatever, like the players association, like where they represent the players in the league," and he was like, "Some of those people you telling me right now were same people that I was helping out and going and fighting things against and for like players' rights and shit on the board." Or players that you're saying, so all those guys that said all that, next thing you know, they voting for me unanimously. I was voted in to be a player representative in PA. You know what I mean? Player association.
Yeah.
So it's like so.
That is a good response. That's a good response.
Right. You tell me unanimously, I got voted by some of the same guys. You ain't got to say names, but I know the era. I know who's who. You can say, you know what I mean? Some of those same guys voted me in. So I don't know. I can't be that bad of a guy. So you know what I mean? It's just that.
It's a good point.
Right, but their style of ball was what people was the NBA didn't really like it because it gave that kind of fucking wrestling roller derby kind of vibe, man. You know, they were fucking they were in there beating people down and nobody was calling anything, you know.
Yo, and I'll be honest, I hope that this generation watches that shit back and then remembers LeBron's garbage ass flopping and goes, "Oh well, okay, yeah, it was different. It was way, it was way different. Yep. It was way different. LeBron is not those people. No, I get it. Because that's that whole thing about LeBron would have killed it back then. We've never seen what LeBron looks like when he goes in the air and somebody just goes funk. Let's see what happens after that.
Those fouls were fucking they were. It's like I'm not even going for the ball. It's arm to the fucking throat. You know what I mean? It's just like tomahawk chop through the body. Like, fuck the ball. You know what I mean?
Bro,
like,
every single foul was a flagrant. It was not called a flagrant, but every single foul was a flagrant. Like
straight, like, I don't want you in the game anymore. And Detroit was like, that's how people earn their respect. And I said, that's when he was saying that. He's like, hey, Mike took an ass beat from us and kind of kept on still moving. You got to respect that. You know what I mean? Like, we beat his ass down.
Yeah. And then that last time when Rodman pushed Scottie Pippen into the fucking crowd, back when Rodman was on the Pistons, when he pushed Scottie into the fucking crowd and he was down for like 5 minutes and they said that was the nail in the coffin when Scottie just got up and was like, all right, you know what I mean? And then just kept playing. They were like, oh shit, we didn't knock any of them out. Like this sucks.
Right.
We're about to lose.
John Sally, that's when I think John Sally said as soon as he seen him get up, he goes, they got us. Because they were all that they knew by them doing that physical shit mentally when they had somebody they had them for the rest of the game. As soon as they got them mentally, they're off their shit. You know what I mean? They're complaining. You're not getting the calls. We got you. You can't even focus on the game right now because you're all fucking flustered about being fouled, and that's all that's on your head.
That's what happened to Horace Grant. Remember what Michael Jordan had to talk to Horace Grant where he was like, "Yo, tighten up," you know.
The Horace, take that. You got goggles now. They can take that.
Horace did that. That shit was great.
Horace did that. Hopefully you don't have to go through that.
And BJ Armstrong still looks 10 years old. Even though he has gray hair, he still looks 10 years old.
He does, man. And that fucking, you know what reminds me of him that's going to look the same way, that kind of resembles him to me, is the fucking battle rapper. What's his name? What is it? T? It's 2 letters. JT? Is it JD? JT?
Oh, JC, yes.
JC. He kind of reminds me of a BJ. He has one of those faces that I feel like he's going to be an old-ass man and still look the same.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Pharrell thing. Like, Pharrell looked 20 years old forever.
Right. /
Nas.
I don't want to say Nas. And then some of the ones that are like, I don't know, there's some trannies out there that, you know, they kind of have that look. Transgenders, sorry. People that have a similar, like, oh, is that your daddy's features? Are you boy? I don't know. Okay, well, it is.
that RuPaul.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but real quick, because we're talking about the dream team, and maybe some of the people that voted Isaiah out and told him to go fuck himself was Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, Clyde Drexler, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, and did I say David Robinson? David Robinson and Alexa, stop. And the college pick, remember they had Christian Laettner on the team.
Laettner.
So
wow.
I will say, if I was going to replace anybody on here, between Isaiah Thomas and Chris Mullin, that's a tough toss-up. You know, that's a tough.
Mullin was dope, but Isaiah Thomas was probably one of the best point guards out there, man, ever. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty. I mean, they did bang against Bird and the Celtics and Magic and them, and then they had a battle against Mike when he first came out for before they lost. So I mean, they're fucking battle tested, man. So I don't know. Isaiah, I don't think Chris Mullin was as much battle tested. You know, I think he had a smaller run of being great compared to Isaiah. You know what I mean? Yep. But I would say that if, to me, the people that I would have thought voted about, Mike and Scotty definitely. Yep. Magic and Bird more than likely. Even though they said they were cool, but they didn't like how they played. Their style of ball made other teams not like them like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So those guys were probably like, "You right, Mike? Fuck them." That's 4 right there. The Admiral was very, you know what I mean? Come on, man. He's a straight-laced dude. You know what I mean? He's like,
you saluted him.
You know what I mean? The Admiral don't fuck around like. He don't like that dirty shit, so he's like, you got my vote, guys. The Admiral has spoken. I don't fuck with dirty players like that. America.
They're just in the locker room, and Jordan's like, so, Dave, what do you think? And he just won't answer, but he keeps saluting. Just, man, this motherfucker never talks. He just...
Dave, if you agree, give me 3 salutes for yes. To vote for yes, 3 salutes.
He's someone that didn't stick around. Like how we were talking about with like Jordan. You never see him on any of the talk shows, any shit like that. Same thing, David Robinson, he kind of retired and I haven't heard shit about him since.
Nope. And that was the same thing what I saw with my new favorite person to follow was old Karl Malone.
Karl Malone.
I mean? Oh man, but he's just such a fucking regular dude in his town right now, man. It's funny, man. He's like a country dude, man. It's like that shit I had sent you that clip, man. It's like, look at this motherfucker Carl just walking around town. Is this the old big black dude that lives over there at the farm? He comes through and he's, hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, Carl, how are you? Yep. Not like, hey, that's the NBA player. That's the fucking Hall of Famer. Like that, he don't even kind of, I like that.
Went back to that civilian life.
Right, but then what made me too the respect, man. He was like when he was talking, he goes, he said, see, that's what I like right there. What you just said. He said, how they respect me as a man. You know what I mean? He said, you didn't do as a black man. You know what I mean? Because that's what most interviewers do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He goes, as a man. You know what I mean? Because he's all about, I treat people as, respect me, I respect you, I don't give a fuck what you, you know what I mean? Like, Carl had that vibe to him. And, you could tell he was really about that life. He was different than motherfucker. You know what I mean? He was hunting cougars and shit like that. He didn't do that. Like, all right, Carl, you like country music? All right, stay over there, buddy.
Number 2 on the scoring list, right? Isn't Karl Malone the second highest of all time? I believe so.
That's crazy. Carl was a guy, man. And it's funny, man, but when you see these guys old, man, it's like, wow, sometimes it's kind of hard to recognize him.
Yeah. No, you know what fucks with me too? Doing stuff like, you know what I watched yesterday? I watched Total Recall. I hadn't seen it in forever. The movie came out in 1990. The crazy shit is looking up an actor or an actress in the movie and seeing what they look like now.
Ooh.
That shit will make you go like, holy shit, 1990 was a long time ago.
You know what? I never looked up the main chick in there, man. Did you look? How does she look?
Bro, she looks good, but
does she? Okay.
She's 61.
Sweet. You know who I wonder what she looked like now? Who I used to have a crush on younger? The fucking the one that played in The Running Man.
I do The Running Man with a gun in hand.
Was she not the same one that was in that one, right? No, she wasn't in Total Recall.
I don't think so, no.
She was in The Running Man. She was fucking bad. I used to like her with the little Spanish accent, but I don't know. She probably don't, sometimes some of them Spanish ladies, man, they either blossom into like, you look good for your age, or like, damn, how old are you?
Yeah.
It's a toss-up.
Toss-up. Yo, but Total Recall fucked with me about how much shit they got right. about the future with the whole like how we communicate and shit like that.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that to get like, you know, look into things like that and see. I mean, shit, Dick Tracy, you know.
Yep. FaceTime.
I mean, that iPhone, I watch. You know what I mean, that was Dick Tracy shit, nigga. That shit was never gonna happen. What you talking about? Watching, talking on a phone, nigga. You don't do that. Dick Tracy did.
Dick Tracy do.
Dick Tracy, the Jetsons, niggas had this shit right, man.
No doubt. As we fly into the future, we appreciate you joining us on episode 129 of the Watermelon versus Pumpkin podcast. There's gourds, there's wars. We're involved in them. And, yeah, man, hopefully everyone out there is safe and healthy and quarantining.
Quarantine.
Triple beam on the quarantine.
130 is coming at you real quick. It's going to look almost the same, maybe the same.
Beginning of the night, end of the day, bars.
Yeah, get your shit together.